I think I will take advantage of the opportunity. I think you guys have aired the Press Act, which of course is already passed here, very well. Its purpose in creating a limited privilege on the part of journalists. I appreciate the fact, I've certainly heard Ms. Atkinson and Ms. Heritage from you. I understand and I appreciate your ethic in terms of maintaining your position of calling balls and strikes, your desire and your professional commitment to maintaining a neutrality so that you're on guard even to coming here and letting Republicans take shots at CBS News through you, Ms. Heritage, for example. I get that. But there's another thing here, and I think about the presence of Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, a lot of the independence of journalists. Ms. Heritage, nevertheless, my observation, and I'm a Republican, so it's partisan, I guess, in part, but I think, you look at the stats, I would suggest the American people see it this way. CBS News is among the corporate behemoth media outlets, all of which seem to be captured by one side of the American political spectrum. You've worked for one of those. Maybe Fox News is one on the other side, but CBS, NBC, Wall Street Journal, largely, yes, Washington Post, New York Times, all of big media seems to be captured by one side. You've worked for a sustained period of time for one of those networks. What of that? I mean, is that not true? It's not so much about your firing, your termination, whether it's because of Hunter Biden's story or whatever, but isn't that a problem? And how does a journalist who's independent and wants to call balls and strikes function in an environment where all the big media behemoths are captured by one side of the political spectrum?
Congressman, I've always tried to be respectful of my former employers. I worked at ABC News, I worked at Fox News, and I worked at CBS News. And I brought the same approach at every place that I worked, which is that it's about accountability journalism on the left and on the right and representing diverse points of view. This is so important in a marketplace of ideas. It's so important in a civil debate to settle issues in this country. And I feel that the Press Act, in guaranteeing these protections to sources, helps grow the voices in journalism. That's the bottom line for me.
Okay,
Diverse voices.
I get that, and I understand that you may want to limit the avenues or the areas you want to take on so that you can emphasize those things that might cover new ground. And the Press Act is where you decided to focus. But I'll give you one more opportunity. To the extent you're one of the admirable professional journalists who call balls and strikes, when you're on air at CBS News, you're lending your ethic in your image to an organization that's decided to do something decidedly different. Is that not true?
Sir, I came to CBS News to do investigative reporting and to bring in diverse voices, and I did my best to do that. I can't explain all of the decisions of the executives. In some cases, I felt that they limited points of view and voices. I was uncomfortable with that because I think good journalism is about diverse voices.
I think professional, ethical journalists, and Ms. Atkinson, I haven't wanted to leave you out, but it's hard to pick one example and kind of go there. I have great respect for the struggles that your profession has, and I don't know how all of them get solved. I do believe we make progress in bits and pieces.